I'm Dave. Every episode, one mental state, one real case. I follow the research, follow the person, and report back what I find. This is James Brown, scientist, diagnosed with ADHD at 45. At his own wedding, he felt nothing. Not numb, nothing. I was masking. Whereas inside, I just felt nothing. No emotion at all. He was 45 before anyone told him why. For most of his life, the word people used for James Brown wasn't brilliant. It was difficult. Lazy, flaky, unreliable. The system had a word for every symptom, and none of them were kind. Most adults with ADHD collect those labels for 20, 30 years before anything shifts. 3 doors get opened along the way: depression, anxiety, personality disorder, before anyone looks at the wiring. The enemy here isn't the doctors. It's the framework, the one that reads ancient wiring as modern failure. The research calls it the broken lens. Decades of self-loathing built into a system designed for a different brain. Before the reframe, what does 30 years of the wrong label actually do to someone? The lens didn't just mislabel. It made people doubt the parts of themselves that were still working. So here's what the research proposes instead of disorder. The ADHD brain isn't broken software. It's old software. 40,000 years ago, staying awake through the night wasn't insomnia. That was the firekeeper role. 3 traits: night watch, hyperfocus, sensory sensitivity, all labeled as failures. But the research has a different frame. Brown described it as an exposed nerve, sensitive to sound, mood shifts, ambient light. The research calls that hyperarousal. Grabbing water with bare hands, that's how the research describes inattention. Not absent focus. Focus without a container. That's the first reframe. Not slow, not broken. Wiring that was never given the right operating conditions. The most misunderstood part: hyperfocus. The exact opposite of inattention, living in the same brain. Predator stalking prey concentration. That's the research description. Total lock-in environment gone. Time gone. One target. Once biology became Brown's subject, the hyperfocus ran for decades. That's what the researchers mean by Ferrari brain. In the United States, 38, the average age an adult first learns they have ADHD. Brown was 45. Most spend decades not knowing the name. Not laziness. Not a character flaw. A brain running a different operating system in a world configured for one it doesn't have. And that's when Ferrari brain landed. Not slow wiring, high-performance wiring running on a system built for something else. 6 adult signs the research flags, not the hyperactive child version, the adult version. Brown's nursing career ended when his back gave out. What came next the research calls the M-shaped mind, not a straight line. Multiple peaks of mastery with valleys between them that look, from outside, like failure. Biology. Postdoctoral research at Warwick, a lectureship, science communication. Each peak built on the valley before it. The research calls it multi-domain mastery, deep competence achieved, a new domain begun. Not a flaw, a pattern. 3 domains, 3 pillars. And across all of them, one thread, a brain that nobody handed the manual to. But the 4th mechanism is the one nobody expected: emergency clarity. When stakes are highest, the ADHD brain settles. Chaos in the room. ADHD brain at the center. Dialed in, clear, unreasonably functional. The research term: consistent inconsistency. What reads as unreliable is actually performance state dependent. In high-stakes conditions, ER, disaster response, rapid decisions under pressure, the ADHD brain often outperforms. He described it once as explaining complicated science to a client in crisis better than in calm conditions. Emergency medicine, wildfire incident command, rapid response operations. The research documents ADHD overrepresentation in all 3. That's 4 mechanisms: night watch, Ferrari focus, M-shaped mastery, crisis clarity. Same brain, 4 ancient features, no manual included. The research framing isn't disorder versus normal. It's 2 different operating systems running in the same world. ADHD, night shift vigil, hyperfocus predator, M-shaped polymath, crisis anchor. Different OS, not broken hardware. The scientist from the podcast is now on the NHS ADHD task force. That brain is writing the policy. Not fixed, not cured, just finally given the right frame. 3 domains of mastery, 1 task force, 1 capsule. What stayed with me? The manual existed. It always did. Nobody handed it to the people who needed it. 45 years. 1 diagnosis, 4 mechanisms that were there the whole time. I'm Dave. I'll see you in the next one. Drop a capsule name in the comments. I build the next one from what you tell me.